Hi there, it's somA. Welcome to Coffee and Empathy. Today I'm drinking from my Ethiopian cup, and I've got the brew of an Ethiopian bean that was dry processed, which means the fruit was allowed to dry still on the coffee seed. What we call coffee beans are actually seeds of a fruit. Instead of having them soaked or peeled off, they're peeled off after they dry. Giving it a bit more of a chocolatey kind of flavor. And this one has this, it's still just as fruity as all Ethiopian beans and African beans in general, but almost like fermented fruit with some sort of spice kind of vibe going on in it. Almost like a masala spice mix. It's pretty yummy. So good morning. I was thinking this morning about depression and the things we do in our lifestyle day to day to stave off depression, and how many people are dealing with just unabating anxiety that is then spilling into depression and probably occasionally panic. And when I personally remember to engage in creating things, I tend to stave it off pretty well. And so when I go through a period where I'm just not doing that much, and not coincidentally, I'm also complaining a bit more, I have to wonder, when and how did I get out of that habit? And usually it's because I have instead started focusing more on pleasing the world, participating in the game, conforming, doing well according to outside standards, other people's standards, which is part of it, but it's not all of it. And if you're doing that at the expense of being true to yourself, then you're going to get depressed. And why is that so common? It's because we train our youth, and everyone now who is adult has been trained this way, to stop doing all the things that will make us the most resilient, like playing and using your imagination and making music, singing your favorite songs, just plain running around for no reason. We get exercise these days, but it's usually for very specific practical reasons that mostly have to do with image. But we've lost spontaneity. Why? We were trained that way. Just think of what school is. When you're 5, you've been spending your whole life just doing whatever makes you happy. Maybe you had helicopter parents and they're scheduling your life away, but still the mentality of a child up to 5 is, what's next? Open-minded, in the unknown, ready for it, and in fact, embracing the unknown as playful and a source of discovery and excitement. But when we get into school, we're told, okay, now you're old enough to stop doing whatever you were already doing and put what we have to tell you into your head and make it come first. We don't mean to do it that way, to shut down the kids so much, but it's only since Montessori school philosophy really started happening and became a part of the world that we really began imagining that kids have something to say. They're not blank slates. They don't need us to tell them what to do. They've got ideas. They might need to be guided on how to do it, such that it's acceptable in this world and in this society. But before they know anything about society, they have a feeling that they're trying to express. And all of us do. So when we go to school, and especially by the time you come out of school, 13 years later, you're you've been dealing with everybody else's priorities for so long, you don't really remember what it is you want to do. So, and when someone says, "What do you want to do?" when you're in late high school and about to go to college, that means, what do you want to do to make money? So by that time, you're finally allowed to choose what you want to do again, but it's been the priority and your reason and your motivation, whatever it may have been spontaneously, has now been supplanted with money. In short, we have trained our kids to seek money before seeking joy and happiness. And thus, that is a source of depression. And we have trained our kids to stop doing the things that actually help with depression. But of course, now, in some ways, that's partially by design, because the system that keeps the power structures in place would not benefit immediately from people doing what they wanted and being true to themselves. Although it actually would, but we don't see it because the people who want the system to stay the way it is don't have that kind of foresight. They also don't have that kind of self-awareness that they once had an idea of what they wanted to do, not so they could win the game or dominate or make money or even thrive, but just so they could have fun. And their priorities have been supplanted with those of the system. And so they are now working to keep the system the way it is, because that kind of success, that kind of happiness of winning the game is not sustainable. It's delicate. It depends on other people's hardship, and it is fragile, and it's ready to fall apart at any time. So we need to remember the more sustainable form of joy and happiness, which is to be in your own imagination, to make something out of nothing using only your awareness of possibilities and something that does not exist yet. And if you can do that, the more time you spend doing that, writing a poem, making music, just enjoying that immediate access to spontaneity and embracing the unknown, then what happens when the unknown is a cloud around your head that you can't get rid of, like during the pandemic or right now in the global scene? You're already in the habit of embracing it and flipping the script. This is not a demon. This is not oppression. This is an opportunity. And when we get stressed, we feel squeezed, we feel pressure, we pressure ourselves. Oftentimes, that's the time we find our best creation, our best response, is because we need it. But when you only need it not to feel comfortable in your own skin, but to win the game, that's not sufficient. You ever noticed that if you really need to earn extra money, then your joy projects, your passion projects, you can't do them if that's your motivation. They come out bad because there's no mystery there. You just want to tap your cash cow and solve your problem and run away from that fear. But if we embrace the fear, if we embrace the uncertainty, then we were built for this. We were not built for the rat race. Certainly not by itself. If the rat race was just entertainment, it might be part of a balanced diet. But that is not how it's served. And that starts with education. So don't educate yourself out of your inner child, your spontaneity, your real dreams, and your deepest ambitions. And really be discriminating about where your ambitions come from. Is the ambition to dominate others, to get rich, to gain power? Is that was that there before people taught you about capitalism? Doubtful. So listen to your creative urges and call upon them when you don't know what to do. This is somA saying, what were we doing before? Oh, yeah. Let's do that again.